Those last couple examples, we've been creating HTML and just inserting it right into the DOM. And if you have any sort of security background, you're probably screaming, Wes, you must sanitize that data before you put it into the DOM. And if you don't know what that means, essentially, like when you get data from a user, whenever you're displaying data from a user, you must make sure that the user isn't doing any sort of sneaky Pete stuff on you and trying to maybe insert an iframe or an image or to do an XSS. So here I've got an example. Like let's assume I took this first name in the about me. I got that from like a database or an API or something like that, and the user had this saved in their database. So they said I love to do evil, and then they inserted an image to Unsplash, which is allowed. You can insert an image into your bio, no problem. But they do this sneaky Pete thing here, where they say onload equals alert, you got hacked. So when this image loads, run this JavaScript. And that is the big no-no. You cannot let your users run JavaScript on your page because then they could drain your bank account or delete your thing or post as you, or they could do anything. Imagine if you let someone run JavaScript on Facebook. You could unfriend everyone, or you could look at all of their messages or send nasty messages on their behalf. So here I've taken the about me and I've just popped it into HTML, and then I've set it into our bio, right? So I'm taking it carte blanche, putting it in, I refresh, and I get this message, you got hacked. Because that is what's called an XSS, a cross-site scripting, where we let someone else who inputted this data run JavaScript on our page. That's really dangerous. So the solution to this is to sanitize your HTML. And that's actually another place where you could use a tag template, where I'm creating all this HTML here. I have all kinds of inputs from my user, but before I put it into my HTML, it's probably a good idea to run it through a sanitizer. So I've loaded in this library called DOM Purify, and it's a pretty good little library that you use to sanitize. And you can have all kinds of options in here in terms of like what tags are allowed and aren't allowed. And there's all kinds of sanitized libraries here. But I'm going to show you. You could make a sanitize tag template and use this library inside of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So we say function sanitize. And again, that sanitize function is going to take in the strings. It's going to also take in the values, right? And let's go and just do a quick reduce function. So return, reduce, that takes in a function. And what we start with, and our function is going to be an arrow function that gives us the, I'm going to say prev next. So previous is what was the last iteration. Next is what's the current iteration or index. What is the index there? And then we are just going to return a string that tacks all of those things together. So the prev, we've got the next, and we've got values I or nothing. You have to excuse that this is wrapping onto the next line. If I zoom out, you'll see that that's just one quick little line there. Now, let's take a look here. We take the sanitize. You have to spell it right. Put it in front. Tag that template. Reduce is not a function. Oh, obviously we have to say strings dot reduce. There we go. We still have you got hacked because we have not yet done that. But instead, what we can do is we can say const dirty, and then this string right here is dirty because it still has this onload or iframes or any of the other nasty stuff people are trying to do. But you can return, and we'll use this library here. It's called DOM purify sanitize, and we will sanitize the dirty HTML. And now when I return that here, let's look at it before. This is onload, you got hacked, but now when I refresh, see that onload has been stripped out along with any other nasty stuff. Obviously, you could do this just with a function as well. You could say DOM purify.sanitize and just wrap it in there. But I'm showing you how you could possibly create a tag template so that anytime you are creating HTML, and I've put it here, but like what if they put it in there? We could also put it on our HTML. You can put this wherever you need to quickly sanitize something, and even if you're using variables or not, it's going to sanitize it for you.